For what feels like forever, one single company has had a total stranglehold on professional creative software. But what if that's about to change? A massive challenger just made a move that is, frankly, kind of nuts. We're going to break down how Canva bought the Affinity Suite and is now, get this, giving it away for free.
And look, that's not me being dramatic. A tech reviewer, Andy Hutchinson, called it the biggest assault yet on the dynastic corporate monolith known as Adobe. I mean, wow. So yeah, we're not talking about some minor update here. This is a full-on direct shot at the king.
Okay, so to really get why this is sending shockwaves through the industry, you gotta understand the landscape, right? Let's set the stage. You know the deal, right? If you're any kind of creative professional, a designer, a photographer, anyone, you've felt that sting. That monthly subscription just, whoop, disappearing from your bank account every single month. You're basically trapped in one company's world, and it is not cheap.
And this is where Canva's big move gets really interesting. They're not just trying to undercut the competition on price. No, they're changing the entire game. They basically took 3 separate, really powerful pro-level apps and, well, they kind of Frankensteined them together into one giant, unified beast of a program.
So here's what that looks like. Before, you had Affinity Photo for, photos, then Affinity Designer for vector stuff, and Affinity Publisher for layout. 3 different apps you had to buy and switch between. Now, it's all just one thing. One single, seamless application. No more exporting and importing and jumping around. It's all right there.
And now for the part that just sounds completely insane. The price. How much for this whole professional suite? 0. Zilch. Nada. I'm not kidding. Every single core high-end feature that people were happily paying for yesterday is now 100% free.
Okay, you're thinking, what's the catch? And yeah, of course there's a catch. The first one is pretty simple though. To actually download and use this amazing free app, you need a Canva account. It can be a free one, but you need one. And that right there is step 1 of their plan to pull you into their world.
So let's look under the hood. What do you actually get inside this new app? Well, the whole thing is built around this idea they're calling studios. Let's unpack what that actually means for you.
So imagine this. You've got one single app open. Inside that app, you have these different workspaces, or studios. It's like having a photo darkroom, a graphic design desk, and a printing press all in the same room. You can literally just switch between them instantly without ever leaving your file. It's super fluid.
First, you've got the Vector Studio. This is basically the new and improved Affinity Designer. It has all the powerful vector tools you'd expect for making logos, illustrations, UI designs, you name it.
Then there's the Pixel Studio. And yeah, you guessed it, this is where all the magic from Affinity Photo now lives. We're talking serious, high-end photo editing, retouching, digital painting, all the stuff that can go toe-to-toe with the big guys.
And rounding it out is the Layout Studio. This is the new version of Affinity Publisher. So if you're making a brochure, a magazine, or even a whole book, this is your spot. And again, it's all in the same app.
And let's be super clear here. We're not talking about some stripped-down, free version of the software. No way. You're getting the real deal. Powerful stuff like non-destructive filters, where you can literally paint an effect onto one part of your image. You get access to advanced Pro Tools for sharpening and tone compression. It is genuinely pro-grade power, and it costs nothing. Right, so the entire professional-level suite is free. The big question then is, how is Canva, a massive company, planning on making any money off this? Well, this is where we get to the other catches, and the paywall.
So what is the second catch? We know you need a free Canva account, but that's not the whole story. What's the real catch here?
And here's your answer. Everything we just talked about, the Vector, Pixel, and Layout Studios, all the core Pro Tools, that's all free. But all the fancy new AI features, that's where they get you. Things like generative fill, expanding images with AI, upscaling, all of that is locked behind a paid Canva Pro account.
So this paid AI studio has all the buzzword features you'd expect, right? AI object selection, generative expand, generative fill, all that jazz. This is what Canva is betting you'll open your wallet for. But the real question is, are these tools even good?
Well, to put it bluntly, no, not really. According to Andy Hutchinson, who tested them all, he said, and I quote, "For the most part, they absolutely suck." I mean, you can't get much more direct than that. The very things they want you to pay for might be completely worthless at the moment.
Okay, so to be fair, he breaks it down a bit.
The tools that use machine learning to work with the pixels you already have, like, say, blurring a background, those work, okay, they're fine. But the generative AI, the stuff that's supposed to create brand new things out of thin air, that's what he calls low resolution, hallucinogenic, and, well, a load of crap.
So what are we left with here? On one hand, you have this incredible professional-level suite of tools that costs absolutely nothing. On the other hand, the paid stuff, the AI features, are apparently pretty terrible right now. So what's the bottom line? Is this a gift or some kind of Trojan horse?
Let's start with the good news, because it's really good. For creatives, this is a huge win. You're getting a polished, fast, professional suite of tools that doesn't crash and is a legitimate alternative to Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign, and it costs $0. That is a game changer.
But, and there's always a but, isn't there? Let's not forget, Canva is a $65 billion company that's heading for an IPO. This isn't charity, this is a cold, calculated business move to suck millions of new users into their world and eventually convince them to pay for subscriptions.
Which brings us to probably the single best piece of advice on how to think about all this. Andy Hutchinson put it perfectly. Treat it as a gift, not a promise. Enjoy this incredible free tool for what it is right now, but don't for a second think it's a promise that it'll stay this way forever.
So, in the end, we're left with this massive question. Is this truly the beginning of a new future for creative software, one that's more powerful and accessible for everyone? Or is this just the best-looking bait ever put on a hook, designed to pull all of us into the next big trap? I guess we'll have to wait and see.